Welcome to the 5th episode of All for Lombardi. Today is October 4th, 2017. We're into that magical time of fall now in the NFL.
This is where stuff really starts to heat up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to lead off with the Thursday game, which was Packers and Bears, which we did the podcast the whole day early for, and really we did it for nothing, to be honest with you. This is one of the most painful. This is the most painful game I can remember in a long time. Honestly, I know that's saying something. I'd say that this is probably the most painful game since probably 2014. I'd say so. The most painful game since Mark Trestman was the head coach. If you don't know the Bears, we lost 35-14, and Mike Glennon sucked in the game. Just to be frank with you, he was terrible. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. That week. Even with the touchdown, he was still one of the worst. 4 turnovers, and the way the game was going was the mood was set instantly. So Green Bay drives down the field to start the game for a touchdown, and the very first play the Bears have it, Glennon gets strip sacked, and they score again. And then, we start to get a bit of momentum. We start to drive the field, and then Glennon takes the ball off the knee and fumbles it, which is brilliant. I'm tired of Mike Glennon, and hey, maybe, as we may talk about later, maybe the front office and John Fox are too. But that's a little teaser for later if you haven't heard the absolutely huge news. Bit of a reason for you to stick around if you haven't. But yeah, I don't know.
I think at least your defense held Aaron Rodgers only 179 yards, albeit 4 touchdowns, which...
I can't crap on defense much because there were 4 times where they had to start inside our own territory. So with basically no field to protect, the whole point of the defense, there was no field to protect. So I can't blame them too much for giving up 35 points.
Yeah, no. Your defense also, no interceptions, no fumbles, and sacks and tackles, so that was your defense's bread and butter. And if you were listening to us last week, you know that both the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers had yet to get an interception this week on their defense.
Packers got to.
And the streak now continues for the Chicago Bears.
If it wasn't for the last game of Week 17, we would have had the least turnovers in NFL history, which is one heck of a title that you totally want. We least defensive turnovers, by the way, not least offensive turnovers. Definitely not with Jay Cutler at the helm. Or Matt Vargo last year, excuse me. Man,
You're
upset.
a traumatized Bears fan.
I'm upset. And because we couldn't pass the ball, the Packers would just stack the box, and so Jordan Howard and Terry Cohen, they didn't have much. They were there. That's all I could say. They were there, and they kind of struggled. But that's because, they would just load the box because we're not going to pass it more than 3 yards down the field.
Right. How was Connor Barth there for you?
Connor Barth's one of the worst kickers in the league. No joke. I'm just in a shooting mood today, aren't I? I think I'd rather take a chance on Sebastian Janikowski at this point, all injured and everything.
You'd rather have an injured kicker kick for you than a healthy kicker?
Yes. I'm upset with a lot of things on this team right now.
I guess you are.
Whew.
So you want to go ahead and talk about the 2 biggest storylines out of that game now?
Okay, we can. We can talk about one of them.
Okay.
We can talk about one that involves the game. So Danny Trevathan laid this nasty hit on Devontae Adams, which all well wishes to Devontae Adams. It was a gross hit. Knocked his mouthpiece out, which knocked it in the air, which that's when it's a hard hit. But he was responsive when they took him to the hospital. And Roger Goodell, the all-seeing eye, the commissioner, used his band hammer and suspended Danny Trevathan for 2 games. So, yeah. Well, actually, he was just recently put down to 1 game. So, but still, it's ridiculous that he got suspended for it. It was a stupid play by Trevathan, and it was a play of pure emotion, which you probably shouldn't think with your emotions, because usually in sports, it doesn't end out well. And yeah, it's ridiculous that he even got suspended for it. It was a stupid thing to do, but it was not intentional for it to be helmet to helmet. That's my thoughts on that.
So now we'll talk about Washington, Kansas City on Monday Night Football. I'll be honest, I said it last week, it wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs lost because no team really goes through 4-0 unless they're really that good, Well, the Chiefs won, though. I mean, I'll say that for them. And I honestly, even at the beginning of the game, once we were down 10-0 after the first quarter, I was kind of just like, I'm not so sure about this game. But then just crazy things started conspiring from there.
I'm not going to lie. I checked my ESPN app. ESPN sponsor us. To look and see what the score was, and I saw it was 10-0. I'm like, maybe the Chiefs are on the ropes this week. Like I like Washington a lot. I think they're a really good team. So I thought if there was anyone that was going to beat you right now, it'd be Washington.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then I'll just talk about the finish of that game really fast. So we actually last 5 possessions except the last one of the game, last 5 scores of the game, except that one were actually field goals, ironically. But anyway, we get to this point where we're 20-23, 4 seconds left on the clock. Harrison Butker, player of the game, by the way, he did great for a rookie kicker, first time actually kicking in an NFL game, not preseason because he was on the Carolina Panthers practice squad. But anyway, 4 seconds left. Harrison Butker kicks the 43-yard field goal, nails it, 23-20. But then as time expires, the Washington Redskins get the ball back. Justin Houston pulls off the fumble, and he gets it 13 yards into the end zone.
I'm surprised there wasn't a bit of a scramble there, because if you personally, it was just the emotions thing. If I was on the losing team and that happened to me, not rationally, but I'd be a bit upset about that.
Yeah.
But because it's over at that point, I don't know. I'm a bit surprised.
And ironically enough, we talk about penalties when we talk about the Chiefs so many times. Washington actually got more penalties in this game, 7-3. Chiefs with 3 penalties, Washington with 7. What are the
yards on those?
It looks like yards. 44 yards for Washington, only 15 for Kansas City. So that's probably
a couple offsides.
Yeah, probably all 3. Heck, they could all 3 be offsides. I mean,
not bad.
Yeah, that's certainly not bad at all for a team that needs to get a bit more discipline. Kareem Hunt once again had a 100-yard rushing game. Alex Smith went 27 for 37 with 293 yards and a touchdown. 4 sacks, though. Offensive line, get it in the gear. Because this pressure, all 4 of our beginning games I've seen, the offensive line for me right now is a love-hate relationship. Because they have really good plays, especially on the rush offense. But then...
Inconsistent?
Yes, very inconsistent. And that is my note there. Of course, Justin Houston with the big play. Fumble, touchdown, recovery. If you have him on any IDP fantasy leagues, I'm sure you're feeling pretty darn good after this week. They were actually, I happened to look at a CBS Sports article after the game Tuesday morning, and the Chiefs defense, there were so many people who were down in their fantasy leagues, and then they had the Chiefs defense at the end, and they said like 100% probability of winning because it was the last 4 seconds. But then a lot of people actually ended up winning their fantasy matchups thanks to that last second touchdown by the Chiefs defense.
Really?
Really.
I think I had the Chiefs defense on the bench, when I think about it, in my fantasy league.
And there was also talk about Vegas because there were people gambling on the game, and the over-under was like 40 or something. It was under 41 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then it went over right at the very last minute.
Yeah.
So that was... There were some very frustrated people all around.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest, dude. I think Washington choked that game away. I feel like Washington... Could you even say that? I feel like Washington probably should have won that game.
Probably.
I mean,
after being 10-0 after the first quarter, there's about a 75% chance you really ought to win.
Then again, if it was based on who should have won, then I think most teams would be 16-0 by now. Or we'd have a 0-0-16 league.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We almost had a tie this week, though, in the Jets and...
Oh, yeah, that one... Didn't that go
Jets-Jaguars.
Didn't it go down the wire?
Yeah, it went all the way down to about a minute. I was almost expecting to see the first tie of the year on bonus coverage there.
Nothing like a good tie. Just screws everything up playoff-wise.
Yeah. Then we had the Broncos-Raiders game, which was our game of the week. I'll be honest, this wasn't really as much of a good game as much as it was a busy game. With Derek Carr being injured, and we'll get to that in a little bit, and all of those things happening. Actually, the Broncos, most of their possessions ended in field goals. They only had one touchdown. The rest of them were all field goals. There's a interesting tidbit for you there.
What happens to the Raiders without dang it, I did it again. What happens to the Raiders without Derek Carr?
Well, E.J. Manuel went 11 for 17 with 106 yards and an interception, so you want to draw your own conclusions at that one.
I don't think E.J. Manuel can lead you anywhere, though. There's a reason why the Bills just let him walk like it was nothing.
I don't think there's anybody else to lead him at this point. Like the Titans just took Brandon Whedon after Marcus Mariota got injured, which we'll also get to later. But
a lot of big injuries this week.
Yeah.
It's almost as if there's an injury epidemic.
The weekly teaser for that, we still have yet to figure out when we actually want to do. But
that's going to be pretty hard to do in the season, though, because we're going to have to get full season statistics.
That's true.
To back that up.
That's very true. So now it's time for the injury report.
Actually, can I say one thing about the Raiders game? Marshawn Lynch, step it up. That team is not going to go anywhere if Marshawn Lynch is not a big part of that team. Okay, now.
Dare I say honorable mention for the disappearing act?
Maybe. 9 for 12. 9 rushes for 12 yards, maybe.
New Orleans placed their right tackle Zach Strief on... This is injury report, by the way. New Orleans placed right tackle Zach Strief on injured reserve on Tuesday. Washington's coach Jay Gruden announced Tuesday that Trent Williams needs further testing on his ailing knee. The big left tackle briefly left Monday night's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs with the injury, but returned. Rob Kelly, the Redskins running back, who is now being replaced by Chris Thompson, I believe. Chris Thompson?
Yes.
And Carson's...
The one that catches a lot of passes.
All right.
Yes.
Chris Thompson is currently in his place, who returned from a rib injury. He is day-to-day with an ankle sprain. Josh Norman is now week-to-week with a rib fracture. That's a big...
Oh, really?
Really.
Huh.
He had an injury. That is...
So, another Pro Bowl caliber guy going down.
Yeah. And then Chris Carson, he is he on IR now? Or?
Yeah, he broke his leg.
Yeah, he's on IR. And he underwent successful surgery on his injured ankle, so maybe coming back next year. Andrew Luck will make his practice debut this week. We had a week without talking about Andrew Luck, but now...
Is he supposed to start this week?
No, I think you can... I think how the IR boomerang works is you get an extra week or two to practice.
He was never put on the IR, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So I think they said they were going to start him in October.
Week 6, I believe, was the plan.
So
we may have one more week.
Have fun, Colts fans. You got another week.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, who actually isn't doing too bad, but that's a whole nother.
But he's no Andrew Luck.
Exactly.
Jacoby Brissett ain't no Andrew Luck. There you go.
Buccaneers linebackers Quan Alexander and Levante David did not participate in practice on Monday or Tuesday. Of course, they will be seeing the New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. Well, there's a game for you. Green Bay Packers running back Ty Montgomery has multiple broken ribs, but is exploring ways to protect them in order to play Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll give him this. I don't know if you're tough or stupid to play with broken ribs.
Yeah, I the second I started seeing that one, in fact, the second I was looking at picking up a guy on fantasy, the next man up in Green Bay, I saw that Ty Montgomery may try to play with that, and I'm thinking, what? Marcus Mariota suffered a hamstring injury in their whopping loss to Houston. Coach Malarkey has stated that things are currently day-to-day. He won't miss too much playing time. However, if he were unable to play against the Dolphins this week, Matt Castle. One of those marquee quarterback matchups again.
Oh, boy.
We could have that as a segment every week. The marquee quarterback matchup of the week.
There you go. Didn't Houston put up 56 points in that game?
57.
57.
57-14.
Shout out to Deshaun Watson. Killer.
The question is, now do we have to take him seriously?
Absolutely. No one's taking charge in that AFC South.
Yeah, that's true.
So, no teams made themselves look better than the others, and that's the thing.
I mean, you have Jacksonville, Tennessee, Indianapolis.
Indianapolis is almost, at this point, dead.
Yeah. Basically.
And mostly.
I forget who the other team in that division is, but it's not.
Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Houston. The ones we were just talking about.
Yeah, why am I? But nobody's really showed their dominance in that division quite yet. Oakland Raiders quarterback Derek Carr's return to action after Sunday's injury against the Denver Broncos is on hold. Carr has suffered a transverse process fracture in his back that actually makes it seem like you're having back spasms, not
That was the original ruling, was back spasms.
Exactly, which made the injury seem less than what it is. Right now, timeline for return is 2 to 6 weeks. And then Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings, the new running back, who there's been a lot of hype around this season.
Rightfully so, because he's been really good.
Yeah.
And now the Vikings are going to be without him for the rest of the year.
Yep. And Latavius Murray will be the next man up. One of those names you didn't think you'd hear too much more after becoming a fantasy stalwart a couple years ago. And I will say really quickly about Dalvin Cook here as we look at the top things from this year so far, the best people, the best what have you. Dalvin Cook, no, he's not even on the top 15 running back list. Never mind. Oh, never mind. He's 3. He's number 3, 354 yards, 88.5 yards per game.
That was a big jump. He went from not being in the top 15 to being number 3 in a matter of seconds.
Because I can't read apparently too well. We'll debut a new segment now, announcing a team dead for the. I'm assuming we're going to announce them dead for the playoffs, essentially.
Yeah, out of playoff contention already, and it's the Chargers this week. We're going to say the Giants, the most disappointing team this year, the Giants. We're going to say they're on life support right now because they can still do it, but it ain't looking good. But I think the Chargers are dead at this point.
Yeah, you got that AFC.
That division's too hard.
West, yeah. If you get down 4 games in there is almost no way to come back from that.
I think there's a really good chance that the other 3 teams make the playoffs from that division. I really think so. I like Kansas City. You know about Kansas City, obviously. I have stated my like for Oakland. Shout out to my uncle. I've stated how much I like the team in Oakland when they're healthy, which they're starting to not be so healthy, which is the concerning thing. And then Denver's defense. With that defense, they're always going to compete. It's that simple.
And I'll say something about that division really fast. The defensive player on the Oakland Raiders, Reggie Nelson, the safety, you need to watch him this season. Because I could see him blowing up and having some good times there. I got this notification about the Chiefs about some crazy stat that Kareem Hunt that says how better he is than everybody else. So, since that's fate, in my opinion, if that popped up on my phone while we're in here, that's fate. I'll get to that later if it ever loads.
So we're actually going to switch things up, and we're going to do a disappearing act for the first 4 weeks of the year, since we are, I can't believe it, but we're
almost a quarter of the way through.
We are a quarter of the way through.
17.
Huh?
17 weeks.
Oh, well, we're a quarter way through the games.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was thinking in my head. But it's well, except for the Dolphins and the Buccaneers, who've only played 3 games. Anyways, off topic. So my disappearing act for these 4 weeks is Joe Flacco. Looking at these stats, I can't believe they're 2-2. I really can't. You want to know why I can't? Because he has, through 4 games, he has 601 yards, 150.25 yards per game, which I don't know how you can win with that. Shout out to that Ravens defense, apparently, for holding up. I know that one game with 28 yards kind of screwed him up, but even then, he has 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So, and a 26 QBR. So, Flacco, step it up, or else Ryan Mallett's going to take your job.
That would be interesting to see.
That would be. I think Mallett, he's all right, but his attitude issues are something else. That's the main thing with Mallett.
So I'm going to play a little quiz game with you here. So as we go into the quarter of the season, quarter of the way through, we have the top 15 quarterbacks. Followed for the first.
Which Mike Glennon is not one of.
Of course, he is not. The first 4 weeks, top 15 quarterbacks. You want to guess number 1?
Brady.
Yes.
No, that's an easy one.
2.
Breeze?
Nope.
Smith?
He's 9.
See, I was giving you credit.
Yeah.
NFC or AFC?
NFC. This one may really
surprise you. Is he in our division?
No, not he.
Okay.
He is in the NFC West.
I'm curious. Tell me.
Carson Palmer.
Really? Good Carson Palmer? What is it? Yards?
Yes, 1,282 yards.
Really?
5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Shout out to Carson Palmer, apparently. Good Lord.
17 sacks. He's actually out of the top 15 by yards. He's the number 1 in sacks right now, by the way.
Oh.
There's 17 of them. Number 3? He is in your division.
It's Rodgers, isn't it?
Number 4.
I
We
have no
discussed
idea.
him earlier.
Drawing a blank. Watson?
No, it was one of your guesses from earlier.
Oh, Breeze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5 may surprise you, Eli Manning.
Really?
Really?
I don't know how. I think I ripped them apart last week,
You did.
talking about how they were a second half team, but
1,113 yards. I will note that Matt Ryan's only 4 away. So if Matt Ryan got 5 more yards in last week's game, or in any of those games, he would actually be number 5 right now. But
worth a mention.
number 7 is Philip Rivers. Number 8 is Jared Goff. Number 9, Alex Smith. Number 10, Carson Wentz.
Hey, Goff is making me regret my Tebow comments.
Huh. Yeah, he is.
All the way from week 1 when I said Goff reminds me so much of Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
And he's making me eat my words right now.
he really is, though.
Huh.
I mean,
I think you heard it.
you want to know the best completion percentage out of the top 15?
Sure, what is it?
Alex Smith,
Oh, of course.
76.
Of course.
Of course, I have to mention, if I see a really good stat about Alex Smith, of course I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Okay.
And another real quick thing about Carson Palmer, his longest pass is only 46 yards.
Mike Glennon's was like 28, so.
So not as bad as Mike Glennon,
Man, this is just a Mike Glennon hate fest.
I guess so. While we're talking about that, we can go ahead and run over these running backs away fast. Number 12 is Jordan Howard in the top 15.
Yeah.
252 yards.
Because they refused to use him again. It's the same thing that happened last year. Just refused to use him in the clutch.
Well, I think most teams are. A lot of teams are kind of refusing to use their running backs this season. I really don't know why. Because, there's a worlds of difference right now between Kareem Hunt, who's number 1, and Todd Gurley, who's number 2. Let me do the math here really fast. He's like 100. Kareem Hunt's like 130 yards ahead of the nearest competitor
Really?
on the top yards.
That's interesting.
Le'Veon Bell did come back though. He's 5th now with 324 yards. So
See, maybe I should make my disappearing act a bear. Maybe it'll become good.
there you
Uh,
go. I think that's about it. Other than a little quick shout out to Calais Campbell for 5.5 sacks and being number 2 in the league this season.
I wish we'd signed him. I would have loved Calais Campbell on that defensive line. That'd really sure things up.
Yeah, it would. Or him, or if you got somebody like DeMarcus Lawrence or somebody
Yeah.
who's actually number 1. But
Really?
yes,
Huh.
I think it's 7.5 sacks.
Oh my
if I'm not
goodness.
mistaken. Yeah,
So what? That's on pace to almost break the record.
it might be. Which is Justin Houston's record, by the way. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Strahan.
No, Strahan. What am I thinking?
We got
Sorry.
like half a second.
I'm thinking franchise record with Justin Houston. I apologize there. So now it's time to talk about our Week 5 in the NFL. Week 5 already? Really?
I know, right?
Jeez.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I can't believe we're already a quarter of the way done with the year. It just doesn't feel like it.
So we'll start off on, we have our Thursday Night Football matchup this week on CBS. New England and Tampa Bay. That'll be of course, that's Thursday Night Football. Does Tampa Bay have a shot this week?
Against who?
New England.
No.
Even with New England's defense going to complete bitter nightmare land?
I can't. Even if the Patriots went 2-13, if you asked me in the last week of the year if I favored someone with the Patriots, I'd still say no because it's Tom Brady. I just can't. I can't go against Tom Brady. It's that simple.
Right. And then, I'll just run through these games really fast since we have a bit of time, all 15 of them. Well, actually, 14, because we have 4 teams on bye. We'll just go through that really fast, actually. 4 teams have their bye week this week. The Falcons, the Broncos, the Saints, and the Redskins.
Dolphins on our bye this week? Oh! Irma.
They have Tennessee.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking it was Saints Dolphins in London.
Yeah, because I had London. I guess Miami elected not to take their bye after that.
I guess so. That's a good point because Tampa Bay and Miami, they're going to play whatever week, which I can't remember off the top of my head.
11.
Yeah, 11 because of Irma.
Yeah.
Nice job having that off the top of your head.
Yeah. Though I will say something about the London games. Do we have if we ever get to a situation where we have multiple teams playing in London in the same season, that's one of the reasons why you couldn't do an NFL team in London, in my opinion, because the scheduling would become a nightmare because they do get the option of a bye if they want it after the London game right now. If we were to go to a situation where if we either had multiple times playing in London in a season, or if there was a division in London, that you can't have 4 byes.
Yeah, really. That's the thing.
8 byes, 7 byes.
In a division, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, but
so the London team would be like 8. Would like win all their games be 8-0 would be the greatest team of all time, basically.
Yeah, because everybody's fatigued after showing up there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the next week up, it'd make us predicting these games even easier.
Even easier.
Yeah, we could just throw the upset of the week whenever, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jets at Cleveland. This is kind of a terrible slate, by the way, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why in a minute. Arizona, Philadelphia at noon, Jets, Cleveland at noon, Chargers, Giants at noon, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh at noon, Buffalo, Cincinnati at noon, San Francisco, Indianapolis at noon, Carolina, Detroit at noon, Tennessee, Miami at noon.
San Francisco, Indianapolis? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Andrew is supposed to come back, I think.
6.
Oh. Well, he just practiced for the first... Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
he could. We really don't know on that.
If Aaron Jones doesn't start, you got Jacoby Brissett versus Brian Hoyer, so have fun with that.
And now we have another marquee quarterback matchup wherever that was.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll tell you the one reason that I know this slate sucks completely. I was looking at the listings. I was looking at what we get on TV for these games. You want to guess the 2 games right now that we are getting on TV around here for this NFL 1 o'clock noon Sunday?
Sure.
Chargers Giants is on Fox. Chargers Giants is one, and I can't remember which network it's on.
The Battle of the No-Win Goliaths.
And then the other one's Arizona Philadelphia. That's not bad.
But that's not good. That's the thing. That's just lukewarm. It's not must see football. Thank goodness for Red Zone. I don't know what I'd do without Red Zone. Sponsor us Red Zone.
Well, here's the thing. The other games that I would think here's the only other games I think you could pick between on CBS, which is getting Chargers Giants. Jets Cleveland, Jacksonville Pittsburgh, Buffalo Cincinnati. Okay, asking you a question now. Jets Cleveland, Chargers Giants, Jacksonville Pittsburgh, Buffalo Cincinnati. Which game would you rather watch?
Or Buffalo Cincinnati. I actually like that matchup a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it here in a minute.
Yeah. We'll run through the rest of the season. We'll get straight to that one, actually. Baltimore, Oakland will be at 3:05. Seattle and LA Rams will be also at 3:05. Green Bay, Dallas is 3:25. That's the Fox game of the week with Joe Buck and...
Freaking Joe Buck has to constantly ruin football games. Thank you, Joe Buck.
And baseball games, too.
And baseball games. Postseason just started. I'm looking forward to listening to Joe Buck for a month. Well, that came off as a lot angrier than I thought. I think I spaced out there because I don't remember any of that.
I think we've had a Joe Buck hate segment right there.
Breathe in and out.
Sunday Night Football on NBC will be Kansas City and Houston. And then Monday Night Football will be Minnesota at Chicago. Both of our teams, once again, are getting primetime matchups.
I think this is the last time the Bears play on primetime until we playing on Saturday in Week 16, which is fun.
Or you get flexed.
Or you get flexed. Maybe that'll happen with Mitchell Trubisky at the helm.
Yeah. Maybe it could. So we'll talk about So we've decided to give out an upset of the week now. And the first game on the whole slate that we will be featuring here, and this is our upset of the week right now, Buffalo, Cincinnati. Buffalo's 3-1, Cincinnati's 1-3. I believe we had the Bengals over the Bills.
Which is why this is the upset of the week.
Yes.
Because we think Bengals have a decent chance of beating the Bills.
Yeah, they do.
And the Bills are not a team to take lightly anymore.
No, they aren't. They really do look like a real football team. Sean McDermott is doing a great job.
I was thinking going into this year, I thought the Bills were guaranteed to have a rebuild. That's why I was for sure. I thought the Bills were about to rebuild because that team was just, I don't think it's good enough to do anything, but it's actually doing better than I thought.
Right. Steven Hauschka. I started looking at all these kickers in these matchups. All of them. We have a lot of newer kickers this season. Only a few veterans that you'll really recognize. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Here's something that may not go towards us on the Buffalo on Bengals beating Bills. Bills have won the past 3 of 4.
3-1, yeah.
Yeah. Well, 3 of 4 against Cincinnati.
Oh, that makes more sense in context.
Yeah.
I was about to say, just saying that randomly, and I see they're 3-1 kind of makes no sense.
Yeah, that one is a little bit weird. Charles Clay is doing good on the Tyrod Taylor. I'll just run through the rosters here. Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, Charles Clay, Andre Holmes, wide receiver. Those are the guys right now for the Bills, of course, since they traded away Sammy Watkins to the Rams, who's been a great tool for Jared Goff.
And Jordan Matthews just he just got injured, I think. Finger problems. I can't remember if they put him on IR, but that's another target takeaway from Tyrod Taylor. And hey, Dalton, you're off my list right now, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, and he's actually in the top 15 of quarterbacks. He's 14.
He's holding down my boy AJ McCarron, who I was so passionate about back in week 2.
LaShawn McCoy is now one of 3 active players with 9,000 plus rushing yards. The other 2 are Matt Forte and Frank Gore. Does Matt Forte even do anything now?
I know, it's sad. They don't even use him anymore.
Isn't he in the New York Jets?
He's with the Jets, yeah. He's been with the Jets last
And they have
year.
this Elijah McGuire guy
and
coming up now.
Powell.
Yeah, Bilali Powell. That was really good 75-yard touchdown by him last week.
I miss you, Forte. You're probably still my all-time favorite Bear, and I love you.
So we have our game of the week, which may not be the game of the week that you think it would be, but we're going to go with it nonetheless. Ravens-Raiders. Both teams are 2-2 here. Joe Flacco, your boy.
Yeah,
The disappearing act boy.
Actually, I was thinking about this earlier. Looking back at our playoff predictions, these are the 2 teams that you had as your wild card.
Oh goodness, that's a good point.
Because I had the Raiders winning the division, so I had the Chiefs in the wild card, and in the division, and you had the Raiders in the wild card.
Yeah, that will be an interesting matchup for sure there. And then Oakland, they are just like the Bears right now. They're defensive interceptionless.
Really?
For the
they
season.
are. Well,
there's an interesting note for you.
they have the interception list. Yep, you're right. They have 4 fumbles though, which is good for them.
Matter of fact, is anybody else right now while we're talking about this? Let's see, of our games that we're going to feature, no. Other than the Bears, of course.
Yeah. The one that we've been talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm worried about on this Oakland defense is an AFC West person, Khalil Mack.
Oh, Khalil Mack is
on that defensive line.
Khalil Mack is the second best defensive lineman in the league behind J.J. Watt.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's not even a hot take. That's just fact.
Yeah, not a hot take, just fact.
Yeah, that's not a T-shirt.
Yeah, 2 sacks last week and 4 sacks in the past 3 for Khalil Mack. He has 8 games of 2+ sacks since entering the league in 2014, tied for 3rd most in the NFL in that span. Had sack last meeting, has 7 sacks, 5 tackles for losses, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 3 pass deflections, and an interception touchdown in past 7 at home. I would be scared if I was the Baltimore Raiders.
Baltimore Raiders?
Baltimore Ravens.
There you go. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel with EJ Manuel at the helm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
I think the Raiders are a better team than the Ravens, but I don't know with Manuel. It's just, it's kind of just luck.
He does have 200 pass yards in 5 of his past 6 starts. Of course, that really doesn't mean anything because he hasn't played in like a year or so. So,
and if 200 yards is your defining achievement, that's not great.
But you're going up against Flacco in that situation.
Oh, 200 yards would be an achievement for Joe Flacco.
Yeah. So would it be an achievement for you? It'll be interesting to see which quarterback gets more yards.
There you go.
In that game, because you have 2 quarterbacks, one who's on the disappearing act list, the other who's just hasn't played in so long.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the most interesting part of this matchup. Sadly, we cannot watch this game around here, but it's on CBS.
And Red Zone.
If you land in Oakland or Baltimore this weekend,
and I'll be able to
a little shout out.
I'll be able to keep track of it. Red Zone again sponsor us.
Yeah, and then our honorable mention game of the week. The reason we didn't want to do this one as game of the week is because this is a Joe Buck game. Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. How many times have we heard that matchup in the last 10 years landing on Fox? And America's Game of the Week and Joe Buck. Jeez.
Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Packers, Cowboys game. Yay. Totally just what I wanted to see.
Of course, this is the rematch of the 2016 NFC Divisional, which Green Bay won 34-31. If the Cowboys can win here, we can tie that series once again at 14-14 all time.
Man, I don't know what to think about the Cowboys, because Rams upset them, which I had down as no chance. I thought the Cowboys would win this game, and now I'm a bit, well, I guess, not worried, but I'm a bit worrisome.
Yeah, about that Dallas Cowboys team. Of course, you had the Giants winning the NFC.
Yeah, it's not looking
East anyway, so.
The Giants basically have to win out to win that division now.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's not that big of a deal there. And then, of course, we'll have Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs and the Texans. Let's see if that stat loaded. Crazy stat shows how Chiefs Kareem Hunt has been much better than everybody else. Hunt has played in 4 games, and in all 4 games he has totaled at least 100 yards from scrimmage. He's just the 4th player in NFL history to start his career with 4 straight games of 100 yards from scrimmage or more, joining Billy Sims, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Adrian Peterson. Of course, I really don't like measuring these rookies up to these previous players' standards.
Because you're setting yourself up for easy disappointment.
And I'm a little more pessimistic than I am optimistic in many cases. So yeah, but we're going to be facing a team you got to take seriously now, the Houston Texans. If the Chiefs go 4-1, I said this last week. If the Chiefs go 3-1, it's going to be Washington's thing. But if the Chiefs go 4-1, it could be the Texans. I have more confidence against them than I did against the Redskins, but I could see it happening here.
Deshaun Watson has breathed new life into that team.
Seriously. And then the final game of the week on Monday Night Football.
The Chicago Bears, led by Mitchell Trubisky, the 2nd overall pick. Now, you might remember, week 4, I said that this could lead into Trubisky time, you just heard me say that, and I was right. Another prediction I got right. Not to toot my own horn, and I'm looking forward to this game because hopefully this could be a new era in Chicago. What I'm hoping for is absolutely a new era. I think Chicago can definitely win this game. You know what? This is what I'm scared about. Is I want them to give the full keys to Trubisky. I don't want them to do the little check downs like they did with Glennon, and that's my main concern because I know Trubisky's talent will show that he deserves to be in this league.
And, of course, now you have this Minnesota Vikings team, which the starting quarterback, we don't know yet. It'll either be Case Keenum or it'll be Sam Bradford.
And without Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, and Latavius Murray will be the main rusher. Yep. Do you think that this Chicago Bears team, if they have a chance against any team the rest of the season, do you think the Vikings are down on their luck enough that...
Can pick them off? I think so. I think there's no reason to say we can't do it. I think if the guys can rely around Trubisky, I think we can really start to change the culture in Chicago, and we can start with this game.
As well as John Fox.
Yeah.
5-5 against the Vikings.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Huh.
But ironically, Mike Zimmer is 4-2 against you guys.
Yeah, of course he is.
It's now time for 5 things. 5 things from the NFL or what have you that are going to be interesting to you this week, or takeaways, or what have you the case. I'll start off with the way too early draft order. Yes, that's right. The way too early draft order for the NFL draft in April. Right now, it is the Browns, the 49ers, the Giants. I wrote the Giants twice on here. The Browns, 49ers, Giants, Chargers, Bengals, Colts, and Bears.
I think we'll be lucky to get the 7th pick. I mean, unlucky to get the 7th pick the way the season's going. But then again, Trubisky's at the helm, so I guess all is all right.
Yeah.
And, well, one of my things is, I keep hearing about the Patriots. Oh, the Patriots have fallen. You know, the dynasty is over. The last time the Patriots were 2-2, they went to the Super Bowl and won it. So have that in the back of your mind when you start doubting the Patriots.
Yeah, and all 3 of their Super Bowl victories came after they lost in Week 1.
Yep. Good point.
So that is definitely something there. And then my second, I already mentioned this last week, but apology to Jamal Charles once again. I continue to screw up on him, on saying that he's not going to be too good. I've messed that one up pretty good.
Well, and here's my second thing. I'm picking a random game from 2005, September 11th, 2005. And you may be asking why I'm doing that.
Can I guess first?
Yeah, go ahead.
First thing, the quarterbacks either it's the quarterbacks or it's the time that game started at, because that game started at like 1:10 or something. That was weird.
You were right the first time. September 11th, 2005 was the last time the Chicago Bears started a rookie quarterback. And we lost 9-7, which, a real barn burner of a game there. But it was Kyle Orton.
Wow.
The eventual member of the Jay Cutler trade. And he went 15 for 28 for 141 yards and an interception.
Didn't Caleb Haney play in that game too?
Not back in 2005.
Not back in 05. I don't know why.
It's all right.
I apparently was reading the wrong thing when I was looking. I must have pulled up another game from...
Caleb Haney did not start his rookie year either. I had actually thought Haney started his rookie year, but he didn't.
Oh.
Which was surprising to me.
It's very interesting.
It's quite.
That's some very good stuff, by the way. Nathan is a sports encyclopedia. I have this AP style book. It's called an AP style book. It tells you how to write sports stories and all that stuff, and news stories and all that. Anyway, I was showing him it one day, and he opened up to the box score, how to write a box score, and he guessed the NBA one straight on.
I guess the year. Yeah.
I think you guessed the NFL one and the Major League Baseball one too.
Just by looking at the players and remembering the teams.
And we end our show on a sadder note today. Tom Petty has passed away at the age of 66. He did actually pass away. Of course, there was talk of, it wasn't official, but it is now official that Tom Petty has passed away at the age of 66.
They said around 10 o'clock that he was critically brain dead for a couple hours, and they took him off at around 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And kind of a somber note to end on, but something for you to watch is the Super Bowl 42 performance. Definitely, I'm going to watch it when I get home and just remember how great Tom Petty was and how we should appreciate these musicians.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I wish we could close our show to one of his songs, but I don't want to get copyrighted, so...
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, I know, right? So, that's it for Week 5 of All for Lombardi.
Go Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, have a great day, America. God bless you. God bless football. And go the Kansas City Chiefs.
Go Bears.